Previously on Doki Doki Literature Club. The thing is, I've had really bad depression my whole life. Without thinking, I once again grab Sayori's shoulders. This time, I pull her into a tight embrace. No matter what it takes, I'll figure out what needs to change. I'll make these feelings go away. Ha ha ha! I carried that all the way here. Are you impressed? I see now. Yeah, I am impressed, Natsuki. Seems like I always underestimate you. You really shouldn't tease girls like that. Is that so? In that case, I probably shouldn't do this either. Take Natsuki's finger and put it on my mouth, licking off the icing. What? I felt it for a while now. Natsuki suddenly jumps back. Sayori? Eh? Hi, Funky. I gently opened the door. Oh boy. Excuse me? What?
Hello everybody, how are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful, gosh, what's today? Tuesday, and you're ready for some more Doki Doki Literature Club. Now you may be wondering, why am I actually showing my monitor, or my desktop and everything? Well, that's because I already started Doki Doki Literature Club and it had a nice little message for me. But it keeps changing, so I hope we're going to capture one of the 2 new messages I've seen. So... darn. So, the first time I opened it up, it said, this game is not for those who are easily disturbed or easily dismembered. That was the first thing. The second thing it did was pop up and say, this is all your fault. I want to see if we can't somehow get that. So, give me a second. Let's see if we can't get it to pop up. Is it not going to do it? Is it going to treat me like I'm crazy? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I'll give it like 2 more tries before we give up. And yeah, my face cam keeps freezing. PM died for this? What? What are these messages? What are you trying to tell me? Play with me. Oh god. So now it's just going to go creepy. I see. Okay. Sorry, I have to quit one more time. I turned off the display capture because it was kind of messing with my face cam and everything. Of course, now that I did that, it's probably going to show. Okay, it did not. So, yeah, the reason I had to do that is because that's how long it takes for the game to capture or recognize the fact that I'm recording something. So, anyway. As you all saw from the very beginning, it was just like, we had that horrendous, tragic scene. Literally unexpected and put legitimately one of my worst fears. So thanks, game, for making me relive through one of my worst fears, which is finding my friend had killed themselves after being super depressed and thinking that I could have done something to help. So, thanks a lot, Doki Doki. Anyway, please. Well, I guess I have no reason to refuse. Plus, how could I ever refuse someone like Monica? Sure, I guess I could check it out. Ah, awesome. You're really sweet, Funky, you know that? It's nothing, really. Shall we go, then? I'll look for the materials another time. You're more important. And thus, today marks the day. Sold my soul to Monica and her irresistible smile. I timidly follow Monica across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Monica, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. I'm back, and I brought a guest with me. Eh? A guest? Seriously, you brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Don't be mean, Natsuki. But anyway, welcome to the club, Funky. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. So let me guess. You're Monika's boyfriend, right? What? No, I'm not. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. Anyway, this is Natsuki, energetic as usual. And this is Yuri, the vice president. It's nice to meet you. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with someone like Natsuki. Yeah, it's nice to meet both of you. So I ran into Funky in a classroom and he decided to come check out the club. Isn't that great? Wait, Monika, didn't I tell you to let me know in advance before you brought anyone new? I was going to, well, you know. Sorry. I didn't forget that, but I just happened to run into him. In that case, I should at least make some tea, right? Yeah, that would be great. Why don't you come sit down, Funky? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. Yuri walks to the corner of the room and opens the closet. Meanwhile, Monika and Natsuki sit across from each other. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Monika. So, I know you didn't really plan on coming here, but we'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new, especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, Natsuki? Well, I guess. Natsuki reluctantly agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard just to find these two. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. Who needs tea when you've got a unicorn mug full of coffee? She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapots in the middle. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted Yuri looks away. I meant, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. So, Funky, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. Looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on and on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasp at something that I can relate to at a minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. I'd expect that from you, Yuri. It suits your personality. Oh, is that so? Really, if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, that can really put it down. Then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why's that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me at first. Wait a second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind the last club meeting and looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud and Give That Back. Fine. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. What do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. We all sit in silence for a moment. Hey, I just got an idea. How about this? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. I thought it was a good idea. Well, I think you're right, Monika. We should probably start finding activities for all of us to participate in together. I did decide to take on the responsibility of vice president, after all. I need to do my best to nurture the club, as well as its members. Besides, now that we have a new member, it seems like a good step for us to take. Do you agree as well, Funky? Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we've reached the most important topic, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Monika may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, I lose my train of thought. All three girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But I'm sorry, I thought... The girls exchange glances before Monika turns back to me. I guess I need to tell you the truth, Funky. The thing is, we don't have enough members yet to form an official club. We need 4. And I've been trying really, really hard to find new members, and if we don't find one more before the festival... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? I would feel terrible if I let everyone down in this situation. Besides, the club itself seems pretty relaxed. So if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Oh my goodness, really? Do you really mean that, Funky? Yeah, it could be fun, right? You really did scare me for a moment. I mean, if you just left out for all this, I would be super pissed. Funky, I'm so happy. We can become an official club now. Thank you so much for this. You're really amazing. I'll do everything I can to give you a great time, okay? Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so that we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Funky, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri cleans up the tea set. I guess I'll be on my way then. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. I can't wait. With that, I depart the clubroom and make my way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the 3 girls, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright, I just need to make the most of my circumstances and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess I'll start with a poem tonight. Alright. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Sure. No, then... Nothing is real? Nothing. Nothing. ISRE is real? Okay. Looks like we're trying to impress just these two. Makes sense. Let's keep going with our girl. We've kind of oh no! That's okay. We kind of decided that she's our girl, so lust. Sorry. When I say lust, we gotta do it. Jumpu. Twirl. Chocolate. Sugar. Hi again, Funky. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Ha ha. Nah, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last one to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Funky. I hope this isn't too whelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. What the hell? You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. If you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Whoa, you're cutting out the text there, Monica. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps their manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops into her seat. I'm sorry, Funky. Well, we'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have an interest in picking up a book to read. Did the music just, like, drop, like, half a step down on the musical scale for a second there? Well, I can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait, I didn't mean it like that. Ooh, if you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Well, it did it again. Or is that just natural in the music? I never noticed it in the first go through. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Ugh! I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her, in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Fucking Monica! She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't really admit you're into it until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? Camera pans to the protagonist's face and it literally says manga written on his face. I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of books, amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of those shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feel. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life. Probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you one thing, Funky. I consider this a lesson straight from the literature club. Don't judge a book. In fact, Sig pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm gonna show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. Ah! I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. What? Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Why is that? I guess it's easier to be closer like this. Don't just say that. You make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arm and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I open the book. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I already finished the series. Hey, are you ever paying attention? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. Looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Typical slice of life affair. I kinda grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Sorry. Like I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. I know these kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time, but it's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. My dad would beat the shit out of me if he found this. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica is kind of a jerk about it. I just can't win, can't I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am reading it. Well, it's not like it solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So? Haha. Jeez, that's enough. You gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flipped the page. Time passes. Natsuki is strangely quiet now. I glance over at her. Looks like she started to fall asleep. Hey, Natsuki. Yeah? Suddenly, Natsuki collapses straight into me. Hey! Oh, jeez. Natsuki, are you okay? Here. Monica reaches into her bag and pulls out some kind of protein bar. She throws it in Natsuki's direction. Natsuki's eyes suddenly light up again. She snatches the bar from the floor and immediately tears off the wrapper. I told you not to... She doesn't finish her sentence before stuffing it into her mouth. Don't worry, Funky. She's fine. It just happens every now and then. That's why I always keep a snack in my bag for her. Anyway,
Why don't we all share poems now?
What the hell is going on in this game now?
Told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first.
Okay, well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all,
Natsuki rereads my poem.
Never mind, I don't feel like giving you my opinion.
Then what's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things.
Oh.
In fact, remember how I said I wanted to read your poems? It's what I had in mind when writing this. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours, like Monica said.
Well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You were supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, well, it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. Hope you're happy.
So in other words, you're saying you liked it.
Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. You don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that. You don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important.
Pretty sure you never actually said that.
I say that mostly to myself.
Natsuki must really hate me or something. Can't figure out if it's a win or a loss if she liked my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right?
Fine, I guess. Only because Monica will make me if I don't.
Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. I feel like that was shorter than the first time.
Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What?
Just be honest.
I am.
Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it?
Well, because
everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even try to take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yeah, exactly.
I like when it's easy to read, but it also hits you hard. Like in this poem, seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. The other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight into wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized.
That's what it means to be a pro.
I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did ya?
Yeah, guess not.
Decided to humor her with that last comment. Don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Alright, let's go to Yuri next. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes. More than enough time for her to finish reading. Oh, sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine. Don't force yourself. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Well, yeah. Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through that. Ah, so it's that bad. No! Did I just raise my voice? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. Might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine, I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right, it's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. Having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they fall and fit the two together. And the end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as though her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something that you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that can go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is sometimes the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. I'm sorry. It's fine. Not sure if Yuri's apologizing to me, herself, or to Natsuki.
Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Oh, please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily as if it's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? It is the same poems, but I'll reread it again. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers, I flicker back.
I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting.
What? I wasn't thinking that at all.
But it took you a long time to read. Ah, well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is very pretty. That's a relief.
Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive.
It wasn't too short. You should write longer poems.
Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Funky.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it once, after all. Remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. Usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in a last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive.
It's nothing, really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up on these things, too.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying.
I'm counting on you.
All right, Monica.
Hi, Funky. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
All right, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? Kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Funky. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know. But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. Hand Monica my poem. I like it, Funky. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Oh, jeez. No, it kind of makes me happy. Kind of makes me think of Natsuki, something Natsuki would write. She's a good writer, too. So take that as a compliment.
If you say so.
Yep. If you're interested in Natsuki, then always keep a snack on you. She'll cling to you like a puppy. Natsuki's dad doesn't give her lunch money or leave her any food in the house, so she's in a fussy mood pretty often. Sometimes she just loses all her strength and shuts down. Like earlier. It's just a guess, but I think she's so small because her malnutrition is interfering with her adolescent growth. But hey, some guys are into petite girls too, you know. Sorry, just trying to look on the bright side. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know. I see. Well, let's read it then.
Hole in the wall, but he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glance at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see color. Are there others in this room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on flat sheets of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right there. He's right there. Swallowing my feels, I brandish my pen.
That's a different poem. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. At least I think it's different. Someone fact check me in the comments. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poets have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. Kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain becomes too fixated on a specific point. If you try too hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. The way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big, dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. I'll just do a quick old save skis. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. It's a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone was judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. The music has definitely changed. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monica is writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch as their expressions change. Natsuki's eyes furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Funky did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless, of course, I come across anything particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Funky liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Funky appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Well, you know what? I was the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Funky started showing up. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. Taking out your own insecurities on others like that. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. Me? Look who's talking, you wannabe edgy bitch. Edgy? Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for some of your mental age to comprehend. See? Just saying that proves my point. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Whoa, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri. Oh, my bad, you already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck is wrong with your head? Yeah, go on. Let Funky hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. Suddenly, Yuri turns towards me as if she noticed I was standing here. Funky, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. Hey, Funky, why don't we step outside for a little bit, okay? Sorry about that. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. Some president I am, right? I can't even confront my own club members properly. Just wish I was able to be a little more assertive at sometimes, but never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? Anyway, if this makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the classroom. She quickly runs away. Oh dear. Well, looks like they're done. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri, I didn't mean it. I believe you. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki, or did. Funky, please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri. We all know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about it by tomorrow. Completely. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want. Yuri looks at me like she wants to say something. She keeps glancing at Monika. You can go first, Monika. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out. I'll wait for you to be done. Well, I'm vice president, so please let me take the responsibility for today. Kind of sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri. It's not that. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Funky. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? I'm sorry for causing trouble, but I really appreciate you. Okay. Kitty, Doki Doki, Kawaii, Mousul. Fallible. Nature. Fireworks, Fluffy. Games. Parfait. Pinku, Vanillu. Sweet, Friends, Jumpy, Bunny, Milk, Pout, Strawberry, Color. Another day passes, it's time for the club meeting already. I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past couple of days. Entering the classroom, the usual scene greets me. Welcome back, Funky. Hi, Yuri. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's Yuri's expression, but the weight of yesterday's quarrel still hangs in the air a little. Yuri glances over her shoulder around the room. Natsuki's reading manga at a desk. Surprisingly, Monika isn't here yet. Suddenly, Yuri takes my arm and pulls me to the corner of the room. About yesterday, I really need to apologize. Nothing like that has ever happened before. Something just came over me, I guess. I wasn't acting mentally sound. Please don't think we're usually like this. Not just me, but Natsuki as well. Yuri, I'm happy that you were considerate and apologized. You don't have to worry too much. Even though I've only been here a couple of days, I could tell something was off yesterday. Maybe we were just a little extra sensitive because it was our first time sharing poems. Whatever it was, it didn't make me think any less of you. I'd already decided that there's no way you can be a bad person. Now that you're apologizing, I know you really didn't mean it. Funky. Don't say those kinds of things so frankly. They make me a little too happy. I'm really glad that you're such an understanding person. I'm really glad that you joined this club. Everything is a little brighter with you around and... sorry. What am I saying right now? Hey, have you guys seen Monika? No, I haven't. I was also kind of wondering where she was. Man, Yuri, I'm guessing you haven't either. Yuri's clearly taken aback by how calmly Natsuki is addressing her. No, I haven't. Jeez, this isn't like her at all. I know it's stupid, but I can't help but worry a little bit. What? Why are you looking at me like that? Natsuki, about yesterday. I just wanted to apologize. I promise I didn't mean any of the things I said. Do my best to stay under control from now on. So, Yuri, what the heck are you talking about? Did you do something yesterday? Jeez. Whatever's on your mind, I'm not sure. I'm sure it was nothing. I don't even remember anything bad happening. You're the kind of person who worries too much about the little things, aren't you? But... I'll accept your apology anyway if it helps you feel any better about it. Besides, it's kind of nice to hear, since I was always afraid you secretly hated me or something like that. No, not at all. I don't hate you. Haha, well, you're kind of weird, but I don't hate you either. Natsuki turns to me. You're still on trial, though. Hey! Suddenly, the door swings open. Sorry, I'm super sorry. There you are. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Nah. Well, Natsuki was. I was not.
What took you so long anyway? Well, my last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kind of lost track of time. Makes no sense, though. You would have heard the bell ring, at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano. Piano? I wasn't aware you played music as well, Monica. Don't give me more credit than I deserve. I guess I've been practicing for a while, but I'm still not really good yet. Still, that must require a lot of dedication, so I'm still impressed. Well, thanks, Yuri. You should play something for us sometime. Monica looks at me. Well, I'm working on writing a song, but it's not quite done yet. Maybe once I get a little better, I will. That sounds cool. I look forward to it. Is that so? In that case, I won't let you down, Funky. Monica smiles sweetly. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Don't worry. I was hoping that I could share it with you anyway. I guess that's why I've been practicing so much recently. I see. I'm not sure if Monica was referring to the whole club or just me. In that case, best of luck. Thanks. So I didn't miss anything, did I? Not really. Just not to bring up anything that the three of us talked about. Besides, Natsuki had already run off to the closet. Funky, since your compliments put me in a good mood, I was wondering if you'd like to spend some time together today. I mean, in the club. I suppose so. I don't think I can say no to you after the book you gave to me. Well, I guess I need to make sure Natsuki isn't waiting for me. After we finished reading yesterday, she's fine. She's reading over there, see? Don't think about her so much. She's used to being ignored. Come on, we're going over there. Excuse me. I want to see something. Alright. We accidentally misclicked something, so I want to see if this changes anything. Because I accidentally hit Yuri first. I'm wondering if that changes anything, so give me a quick hot second to just fly through this. As it progressively degrades, and... Alright. Alright, I want to see if that this changes anything, or if it still ends up being just, you know... Natsuki still runs away crying. Yuri still wants to stay here and talk to us. Immediately takes us right into here. Let's quickly grab the same kinds of things. Oops. Keys. Joy. Fly into this again. She apologizes. Natsuki pops in, doesn't know what's going on. She's doing music, and okay, yeah. So we did not miss anything. Cool. Then this is actually where we will end for today, actually. And we're going to see what kind of chaos we'll get for next week. That'll be pretty interesting, though, don't you think? So I hope you all are enjoying this series as much as I am, because to be honest, I didn't know what to expect when I started this, and I'm actually really, really liking this game. So I hope the rest of you feel the exact same way. And yeah, until the next time, everybody, stay funky, people.